Hello and welcome to Alphonse Stylize. In the Reichstag election on 5th of March 1933, in the German Reich, 43.9% of the voters voted for the NSDAP. In Neustadt, the figure was as high as 52.9%. How could this happen? Were there only Nazis living in Neustadt an der Hart? That's what this video is about. Hindsight is always 2020. Today we know that this fateful German election led to the genocide of around 6 million Jews and the murder of many Sinti and Roma, homosexuals, communists and dissidents. A total of more than 13 million people. What was the outlook back then, looking from 1933 into a future that was unknown at the time? After the election, there were parades and celebrations. Following the hardship of the previous years, people hoped for an improvement. From today's perspective, voters at the time are criticized for the fact that everything was already known back then. Hitler's book Mein Kampf had described the measures against the Jews. Psychology describes numerous cognitive biases, which were certainly at work back then too. People unconsciously extrapolate from the past. Even during the German Empire, people of the Jewish faith were discriminated against by the state. The emperor read anti-Semitic literature to his son. Hitler's anti-Semitism was viewed as just another anti-Semitic text among many. Nothing truly terrible had happened in the past, so it would remain that way. A fatal mistake. This is known as extrapolation bias. People perceive things selectively and pay attention only to information that is relevant to them. This is known as selective perception. Those who were not of the Jewish faith and had no contact with people of the Jewish faith paid far more attention to the National Socialists' economic promises than to anything else. The prospect of an economic upturn led directly, on gut instinct, to a decision in favor of the NSDAP. People saw that the NSDAP cared and, for example, organized a wonderful Christmas party with presents. Unlike the other parties, the NSDAP had a strong local presence. This outweighed everything else in the Palatinate, which had only been liberated from French occupation in 1930. The mere exposure effect kicked in. Finally, there is groupthink. People in a group make poorer decisions than when alone, because they align their decisions with a group. Gauleiter Bürkel was a teacher. Many civil servants and teachers had already joined the NSDAP before 1933. They were genuine opinion multipliers. Information that contradicts the collective opinion is ignored. This avoids conflict within the group. Information is interpreted in such a way as to confirm the group's collective opinion. Added to this is the NSDAP's narrative with its powerful imagery. Adolf Hitler, portrayed by NSDAP propaganda as a wrongfully persecuted, down-to-earth, decent World War I veteran from a humble background, wants the best for Germany alongside his party comrades. He wants to make Germany great again, whatever that might mean, if one analyzes the situation thoroughly rather than relying on gut instinct. Adolf Hitler was surrounded by a halo effect. Could this man, who was so good with children, possibly have wanted anything bad for Germany? Foreign nations fell for Adolf Hitler's rhetoric just as much as the Germans did. In addition to the Nazi mass murders, 60 to 65 million people fell victim to the Second World War instigated by Hitler. The Nuremberg race laws were still 2 years away in 1933, and the German Wehrmacht's invasion of Poland, which triggered the Second World War, was still 6 years away. The Wannsee Conference, at which the horrific industrial mass extermination of the Jews was decided, was still 9 years in the future. How did the rest of the world view the Nazi regime in 1933? That is the subject of the next video.